Choosing the wrong backpacking tent can ruin your entire trip, leaving you cold, wet, and absolutely miserable. So if you're looking for a lightweight, durable, and high quality tent that won't fail you, stick around because I'm revealing the best lightweight, durable options, plus one completely overhyped tent you should avoid at all costs. Hey, I'm Matt, and I lead Christian men and pastors on wilderness adventure trips to epic places for refreshment and renewal. Grab my free download, the best camping experience gear guide for the very best high quality outdoor clothing, gear, gadgets, and tools I own, use, and recommend you put in your pack. The link is below. All right, so what are you looking for in a great backpacking tent? 4 things. The first is weight. You want a backpacking tent that's under 5 pounds. Anything over 5 pounds is way too heavy to take into the backcountry, and it's probably not gonna fit well into your backpack. The second thing you want in a great backpacking tent is durability. You want a well-made tent, not a cheap tent, not a flimsy tent, not a tent that cuts corners on really high quality parts. You want a well-made tent that's gonna take a beating when you set it up, when you put it down, where you place it, when you pull it in and out of your pack. You want that backpacking tent to be durable and last you multiple trips. There's nothing worse than having a tent that doesn't go the distance and can't keep up with you on your backpacking adventures. The third thing you're looking for in a great backpacking tent is livability. You want enough space to sleep, to stretch out. You also want to make sure you have enough space that it fits your sleeping pad, especially if you've got a wide sleeping pad. And if you're like me, you want to be able to put gear in your tent. Gear at your feet, maybe your backpack if it's super stormy outside and you want to bring it in even out of the vestibule because water's starting to run by your tent. And if you're like me, you want to put items like next to your shoulders, around your head, clothing, hats, flashlights that you can easily grab at night. And it's terrible when you feel cramped and there's just not enough space to have with you the things that make you feel safe and comfortable. And the fourth thing that you're looking for in a great backpacking tent is weather protection. You want strong materials that can handle the hail, the rain, the wind, the snow. You want your tent to be able to keep you safe and dry even in the midst of a high alpine storm. So that's what you're looking for in a great backpacking tent. Weight, durability, livability, and weather protection. And I've got 2 great tents for you and one that's terrible. All right, coming in at number 1, my most highly recommended backpacking tent for 2025 is the NEMO Dagger 2-person tent. 2 years ago on a 9-day canoe trip in September, I got caught in an epic storm. It started with hail, and then for 2 days straight, it rained, and that included some 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This tent got absolutely soaked. I pitched it in the pouring rain. I put it up wet. I pitched it in the pouring rain again. I slept in it for 2 nights during a torrential downpour. And I've got to tell you that it's one of the reasons why the NEMO Dagger 2 is my absolute favorite tent. The NEMO Dagger repels water and stretches less when it's wet and feels so much stronger than all of the other lightweight tent fabrics that I've tried. This is an absolutely beast of a 2-person tent. The NEMO Dagger is lightweight, durable, and super roomy. It's easy to set up, it holds up in bad weather, and it gives you ample space in a well-designed tent that's going to persevere through a lot of trips. The total weight is 4.2 pounds, and that's a little bit high on a lightweight tent, but given the durability and the weather protection that you get from this tent, I think it's worth it. 4.2 pounds is a doable weight. I carry this on my own, but you can also split it up if you're sharing it, and someone can carry the poles and someone can carry just the tent and the rainfly. The dimensions of this tent are my absolute favorite of any tent that I've ever tried. This is 90 inches long, it's 50 inches wide, and it's 42 inches high. What does that mean? 90 inches long is the primo length for a tent, in my opinion, especially for larger guys like me. I'm 6'4". Anything under 90 inches in length, I start feeling cramped. I start hitting my toes against the edge of the tent. I can't put my arms really above my head or sleep on an arm well at all because it's just too short. 90 inches is amazing. And that 50 inches wide is really good for 2 sleeping pads. And the 42 inches at height means that I can sit up in my Crazy Creek chair and read with a headlamp at night or during the day in case of a rainstorm. Okay, I want to show you the material of the NEMO Dagger. Whatever NEMO is doing with this Osmo ripstop polyester nylon blend, and for the fly a little bit thinner but still Osmo ripstop material, whatever they're doing it right. This fabric is really solid, and it has an amazing combination of toughness and durability, but also it's really lightweight. The vestibule area of this tent is 11 square feet. This is a freestanding tent, which is really important to me, meaning you just pitch the poles, hook up the poles to the tent, stake the tent in the ground, and it's stable. I do not like to attach extra guy lines and stake out various parts of the tent in order for it to stand up. The NEMO Dagger has 2 doors. It has 1 pole system that's all attached and super easy to put together and take down. It has 6 pockets in the interior, and it's got a really cool gear loft where I like to put my flashlight at night. Right now, it's on sale for $370 at REI. I would take a look and grab it when you can. The NEMO Dagger 2 is a reliable backpacking tent with a great balance of size and weight that's going to hold up in the rain and the wind. I love this tent. If you're looking for a great entry-level backpacking tent that's going to hold up, that's going to stay in shape, that's going to go the distance with you on all of your trips for several seasons, you cannot make a better choice than the NEMO Dagger 2. All right, this may surprise you, but coming in as my second most highly recommended backpacking tent for 2025 is the REI Half Dome 2 Plus. This is the best budget-friendly backpacking tent that doesn't cut corners on design or quality. This is a tough, comfortable tent that gives you a lot of space. This is a bougie tent. This is a luxurious tent, and it's still pretty lightweight, and it won't break the bank. This is the tent that I feel most comfortable with around my kids. It's also a tent that I don't hesitate to recommend for any of my participants on a backpacking trip or a canoe trip or even my survival skills weekend. This tent comes in at just under 5 pounds. It is 4.95 pounds. It's 90 inches long, which again is super helpful for guys like me that are 6'4". It's 50 inches wide, which is nice because you can get 2 wide sleeping pads in this tent. And it's 42 inches high, which means you can sit up in it. This is made of a tough 40D ripstop nylon, and the fly is a 40D taffeta nylon. The vestibule area is a whopping 22.5 square feet. It's a freestanding tent. Again, freestanding is absolutely important if you don't want to spend a lot of time finessing extra stakes and guy lines. Freestanding is the way to go. This tent has 2 doors and it has 1 pole system that is super easy to assemble and disassemble. The REI Half Dome 2 Plus has 6 pockets on the inside. It's got a great gear loft, which is super helpful for your headlamp, your phone, your book. It's got lots of pockets on the side. The footprint is included, so you don't have to spend extra money going and figuring out which footprint to buy. And the MSRP on this tent is $349, but over Christmas, I got it on sale for under 175. Hooey! This is an awesome tent. Maybe not for a multi... Oh, hi, Mav. Did you want to say hi? Did you want to say hi to the people? Compared to the NEMO Dagger, the fly is just a little bit thicker, and the tent material is also just feels a little bit thicker and tougher. And of course, this comes with a ground pad. I love this tent. This is the toughest sub 5 pound tent made. I highly recommend this tent. I have a couple of them because I use them on the adventure trips that I lead. This is a tent that's going to last a long time. It's a tent that can take a beating and keep on pitching. And it's a tent that you're gonna be glad that you have. Okay, now for a quick shout out to my third most highly recommended backpacking tent for 2025, and that is another NEMO tent, the NEMO Dragonfly. The total weight of the Dragonfly is 3.2 pounds. That's a pound less than the Dagger. But with the reduction in weight, you also have a reduction in space. The length of the Dragonfly is 88 inches. That's 2 inches shorter than the Dagger and the Half Dome. It's 50 inches wide, but the Dragonfly tapers at the feet. It's only 45 inches at the feet. And it's 1 inch shorter in height. And the vestibule area is also 1 square foot smaller. You get a lighter weight tent, but I'm not sure 1 pound lighter is worth a less durable tent. I just feel more comfortable carrying the NEMO Dagger, even though it's a pound heavier. It just gives me a greater sense of peace, both in weather and for longevity. I also have this in a 3-person tent that I give to my participants on both backpacking and canoeing trips, and they absolutely love it. They love the ease of setup. They love how they can split it up and share the carry. They love the pockets on the interior, and they love that there's room enough in this tent where they can have their own space, and yet it's really not as heavy as a lot of other 3-person options. All right, now here's the one tent I do not recommend, and that is the Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2. That tent gets so much hype, and yet, in my experience, that tent is terrible. I bought this tent several years ago, and I took it on a 6-day backpacking trip in Colorado. I got up to about 11,000 feet. I pitched the Big Agnes Copper Spur, and shortly afterwards, it started to rain, and it rained all night. And it woke me up in the middle of the night for 2 reasons. One, rain was coming through the fly, dripping through the fly, and the condensation was terrible. I was so angry. If you're gonna pay that much money for a tent, it's gotta be durable, it's gotta be weatherproof, it's gotta be built of high quality materials. Yes, the Big Agnes Copper Spur gets a lot of attention. It gets really high reviews, but I'm telling you, I've bought it, I've taken it out, I've used it, and it failed me. It is not a good tent. Clearly, I still have some issues I've got to work through with the Big Agnes Copper Spur because we're still in conflict. It just did me wrong. Do not buy the Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2. Now, that was a few years ago, so maybe Big Agnes has changed their design. Maybe they've improved their materials. I don't know. Drop a comment below. Let me know your experience with the Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2. Maybe they've made some positive changes, but until I hear otherwise, thumbs down. All right, so which tent is right for you? If you want the best overall tent for performance and durability, go with the NEMO Dagger. And if you're on a budget, but you still want high quality and you don't mind the extra pound, the REI Half Dome 2 Plus is your very best bet. I've dropped the links below to get the best deals on these tents. But don't just buy a new tent. Get out there and use it. And drop a comment below because I'd love to hear your experience, either with these tents that I've reviewed or with another tent that you recommend that I try out or even review in the future. And hit subscribe for more high quality outdoor clothing and gear reviews. Adventure awaits. Let's get out there.